Hey everybody, thanks for clicking and tuning in. This video is going to be part one of a primer, I guess you could say. So yeah, I'll talk a bunch more at the end of the video, so stick around if you want to, but I'm not going to bore you. Let's just get cracking. Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. Sorry it's been so long. I have just been busy playing Elden Ring and being preoccupied, doing other stuff. But today we're going to talk about something very near and dear to my heart, which is how to cut a break on the mate. So it's very fun. And yeah, so we're going to take a look at all this today, and I'm going to breeze through it. I'm going to also reference a few of my other videos, so we're not going to take a look at every single thing that I do here, especially the time stretching stuff, so go check that video out. And yeah, but let's get right into it. So all right, brace yourself here, because we're going to move pretty darn fast, and we are going to, you know, we're going to have fun here. So the first thing you're going to want to do is choose your break, right? So I think that you can get these from a number of, you know, pretty much anywhere you want. And, you know, how original you want to be is completely up to you. But I really enjoy just the Jungle sample pack here, right? There's just a lot of classic stuff, things that you're going to be really familiar with, you know, stuff that you're going to recognize. So let's choose something fun and, you know, really workable. All right, so this is actually one of my favorite breaks here, right? So we're just going to take a look at it. It's called limb break, right? All right, cool. So we're going to go up and we're just going to warp this real fast. Let's that should be probably good. And let's see here. Forward loop. Wham. All right, sounds pretty good, right? Oops, sorry, arm. All right, so yeah, all right, cool. That's our 2-bar break there, right? And it's all warped up. It's time stretched there quite nicely. Like I said, I'm not going to get too into that here. And then now what we're going to do is the chopping part, right? So what you're going to want to grab here is LFO to re-trigger, right? And the reason we're going to do that one is because we put the you know, our time stretching parameters there, right? So now what we can do is put this little guy and trigger it anywhere we want, right? Right, and so what we can do here is, you know, start to really cut this up any which way we want. All right, now a few things to keep in mind here while we're doing this. So the LFO, so your trigger, your cut points here, anywhere that you can cut is gonna, so you can even sample it, like right there if you hold edit, you know? It's going to let you see where you play. Right? So that's kind of cool. Very nifty. But a few things you want to take notice. So the LFO is going to go along the same scale as what we got here. So it's like a little reference, with 0 being the start of the sample and, you know, F being the very end. And what that is going to mean is if you've got a even bar break that you're cutting up, you can use these 4, 8, and C as kind of like, you know, points in the break that, you know, 8 is always going to be just the exact middle there. So if we, cut it out, we're basically jumping from the beginning to the middle, which would be up here. So, that's kind of fun, nifty, but we can go even further, so then we can kind of recontextualize this any which way we see fit. So there you go. You're already chopping it up. And now it really just comes down to, once you've got this stretched, you've started to play around. Well, no, that's the next part. Start to play around. So what we want to do here is just kind of, like I like to just sit here and kind of sample. You can even get, in these kind of like in between parts by scrubbing through. You've got a lot of control here. So, play around and start to kind of figure out where you want to start cutting it up and all these types of things, right? So a few other things that you should know about this flow is you can pitch things up or down. Which is pretty cool as well, right? And also it should be noted that anytime you put a note in is going to kind of like snap reset to whatever parameters you have just basically here. Okay, so kind of your defaults. So if you do something wild, right? Like, I don't know, maybe let's just say turn up the degradation, and then put another note right there, it's gonna so you can do sort of things like that, which are very momentary style effects. All other parameters are also very much alive here, so you can do things like kill, you can do effects. I really like playing around with effects. And then of course you've got your beautiful, wonderful re-trigger parameter, which everybody loves here, right? So right, so you can get really, really fun and play around with that guy there. So yeah, you can also do fun stuff like reverses here. I like to do this as that's kind of a quick thing. If you click edit and then go back, you can, so you can have something like that happen, and then maybe like this, and then oopsie daisy, let's get you. Right, so, and that doesn't really work very great right there. Play around, have fun. So yeah, let's take a look at something that's got a little bit more something to take a look at here. I think there should be one lonely. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So let's take a look at this here. Here is something I've been kind of working on, and combine a lot of these ideas and a bunch of different breaks. Well, like 3, right? So let's take a listen. So you'll see here a few other things that I really want to point out. If you have one phrase like this, you can get a lot of work done here. So even in this thing, I've got 3 different instruments here, right? And you'll notice that when this little chord happens, it cuts everything else off, but then it goes to the delay here, right? And the delay is just a separate channel, so it just kind of goes off. And you can use that to great effect, especially the tempo sync delay, if you want to send like, hi-hats and stuff like that. It's very fun. So yeah, that's kind of just a quick little introduction to how I like to cut breaks and a few considerations to get you started. One other note here I would say is while you're playing around with your breaks, while after you've gotten them nice and malleable and you start, squishing them and stretching them and doing all sorts of stuff, cutting them up, I do think it's very advantageous to have a click kind of going off in the background or some sort of pad, or, put in very hard anchor points in your thing. Otherwise you can get very, very, tripped up and moved around when you're cutting up a break here. But also you can find very interesting sort of like new cool, rhythms in there too. I think I've got... Yeah, see, like this one, I kind of got this weird, I put on a 9 and this one, and I got this kind of like wind up sort of, which is very much different from what the actual break was. But, I remember when I was writing this, it was like all wonky and crazy at first because I wasn't writing it with any sort of clicks. So I put in this just pad here, so I could really, feel how things were going to sit in the sense of a song. And then I didn't write a song. So whatever. But yeah, hope you liked that quick little intro. And we got some other stuff on the way soon. And I'll get back to making more videos. Very close to beating Elden Ring. So... All right, thanks for sticking around. So this was part 1 of a primer on breaks and drum and bassy type of jungly stuff that we're gonna go on a fun adventure down. And I just really have gotten kind of obsessed with breaks and jungle in the past few years here, and I've been exploring a lot of different ways to play around with these sounds and these rhythms. And so yeah, I kind of figured that as that being something I'm really passionate about, and I've got this channel to kind of explore, just whatever, that we would go on an exploration of drum breaks, jungle music, drum and bass. So yeah, this is kind of part 1. Kind of ended up a little bit more casually than I would have liked, but I filmed a bunch of videos over the past month that weren't really up to snuff while I was trying to figure this all out. So yeah, coming up, we've got a Mako. Hello, Mako. But yeah, so in the next few videos, I'd like to really explore both some hardware processes and some software processes for creating some fun break music, chopping stuff up. And I'd also like to, share a little bit of research that I've been doing on kind of the history and a little bit of my personal perspective on why these sounds and rhythms and loops are so much fun and how they're still very versatile and valid, 40, 50 years later, chopped up in different recontextualized ways. So yeah, if that's something you're into, hopefully stick around and some more stuff will be on the way. We're also going to be exploring, I got my hands on one of these Zoya Euro burros, so we're going to be playing around with that a little bit. I got a bunch more soft pop stuff to throw at you, so yeah, thanks for being patient. And Mako's very impatient. It's time for lunch, so I'll see you next time.